In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to do the noob walk headshot trick in the correct way. I will also tell you guys some mistakes that players do while doing this trick. And if you guys watch until the end of this video, I'll teach you guys how to defeat noob walk players. So without wasting any more time, let's start today's video. So guys, before doing the noob walk trick, make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 glue walls. If you do the noob walk trick without a temporary or permanent cover, the enemy could easily take you down. So always remember to have at least 1 or 2 glue walls with you. The next important thing before doing the noob walk trick is to have a helmet and a vest. If you don't have a helmet and a vest, the enemy could easily do more damage to you. So always remember to have a helmet and a vest. If you can't find a helmet, it's okay, but always try to find a vest before doing this trick. So now let's see how to do the noob walk headshot trick correctly. So guys, the first step is to move using the joystick button. Two of the main mistakes that players do while using the joystick button is that they either move towards the enemy like this or they move towards the back like this. The enemy could easily take you down if you move straight towards them or straight towards the back. So instead of moving like that, try to move towards the left side or towards the right side. Another thing that you can do is that you can rotate the joystick button like this. This way it will be hard for your enemy to headshot you. Now after you move the joystick button, the next step is to fire at the enemy. Always remember to stand in a still position without doing any movements when firing. Also remember to not stand in a still position for very long because the enemy could easily take you down in such a position. And guys, for this trick, it's not that necessary to use the quick weapon switch button after firing. Guys, this noob walk trick can also be used in a very fun way in matches. To do this, first select the premise character and put the costumes that you got when you first started playing the game. If you put on a pro costume, the enemy will know that you are a pro and you are trying to do the noob walk trick. But when you look like a bot, your enemy might lower their defenses. And when they do this, there's a great chance that you can easily knock down your enemy. Guys, now I'll show you guys some ways on how to defeat noob walk players. First way is to bring the fight into short range. Most noob walk players will use the noob walk trick in long range and mid range because it's a bit hard to do headshots in short range. So guys, try to get very close to the enemy by blocking his or her attacks with glue walls. The second way is to use the same noob walk method on the enemy. If you are in the open without any glue walls, try to use the rotating noob walk trick. This way it will be hard for your enemy to knock you down with a headshot. If the enemy fires at you and misses, it's the best time to fire back at your enemy. When the enemy fires, he will be in a still position, so quickly fire back at your enemy before he goes into cover. So guys, the third way is to use the cover fire trick. To do this, first make sure that you have a permanent or temporary cover. Next, when you fire, make sure to fire from the right side instead of firing from the left side. The reason that I say this is because the crosshair is placed more towards the right side. If you fire from the left side, you'll have to go a bit more out of your cover when compared to firing from the right side. When your character is more exposed to the enemy could easily take you down with the noob walk trick. When you fire from the right side, you will be less exposed to the enemy. So guys, to do this trick, first come a bit outside of your cover using the joystick button. Next fire, after that switch, and at last quickly go into cover. And guys, make sure to do this trick quickly or else the enemy might knock you down. But guys, there's still a risk of firing first at your enemy. Since the enemy is using the noob walk trick, he could have already placed the aim near your cover. So to lower the risk of getting knocked down in such a situation, you will have to confuse your enemy. One way to confuse your enemy is to use a double glue wall trick. There's 2 glue walls like this. Next, go to the glue wall which is on the left side. After that, go a bit outside of the glue wall and come back inside again. So now the enemy might think that you're taking cover near the left side glue wall. After that, go towards the right side glue wall and fire at your enemy. The next best way to confuse and fire at your enemy is to use the apple up auto movement trick. Check out this video if you guys want to learn how to do the apple up auto movement trick in Free Fire.